Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and to the garden. Today's video we're just going to be doing the unboxing, setup and review of the Biling 80-watt stainless steel waterfall box kit. So stick with us today as we go through that and show you our end review. So just to show you here, our box arrived today. We're going to unbox it and show you what's inside. So just as we open the box here, you can see what we've got inside is our user manual on top. Now this will give us the instructions for kind of basic setup, but as you can see, just as we open it here, come out of the light, we've already got pre-installed filter sponges, and what we'll do is get the whole box out, show you each bit of kit as it goes on and kind of explain everything here. This is your 80-watt stainless box, so it's a little bit more durable. Again, gives you options if you're looking to have something that again can take a little bit more wear and tear, and of course it's going to be anti-corrosion on that side. But let's just get this out and we'll show you what's in the kit here. So just as we're getting this out here, you can see we've also got our lid just here. Now these stainless waterfall kits, or even the other kits from Biling, really good bit of kits. You may see on the channel we also have tried the other 80-watt kit, which is the plastic waterfall box. We've got a lot of other reviews on some of the Biling kit as well, so certainly check those out if you have not. Just so we pull out some of the parts here, we've got our overflow blade. Now that is going to attach right here on the box, and we'll go through that attachment as well. One thing to point out, whenever you are taking things out for the first time, or perhaps trying to set it up for the first time, I would suggest sort of giving it a little bit of a rinse. You can just see some residue here, and that's just going to be from your manufacturing process and sort of traveling with some of the bits inside the kit here. Now of course, always best to give these things a nice little rinse before you do. Now these boxes, I'd say kind of one great use for these is for sort of koi ponds and maybe some of your larger ponds. This one is a 4,500 liter per hour waterfall box. Now of course with these, this is going to give you the filtration sort of built in, which is great again if you're keeping sort of fish, or really trying to clear up the water in your pond. Again, these can be really good for catching all those debris. If you just have a look in here as well, we've got our filter brushes. Now these are going to catch your more, I'll just get that out. So taking a look here, you can just see quite a nice size filter brush. We've got a few of those in there. That is going to provide your sort of heavy mechanical filtration in the back. And then of course things like your filter bags here, these are going to provide sort of towards the biological filtration. Let me just get all of the kit laid out so you can see exactly what comes in the box here. So you can just see here everything laid out outside the box. I've not removed it all from inside of here, and that's just for the purposes of kind of showing you where each bit goes. So what you can see is we've got 4 bags for the biological filtration. You've got 4 of the larger brushes. These are great for catching, as I say, the large particles here. It does come with 8 of the supplied smaller foam sponges. We've also got our mesh bag. Now this pump is going to go inside, and again forms the first line of your mechanical filtration, keeping some of the largest debris from going into the pump there. Now you can also see here is our blade that goes on the front of the box. You can just see here, and we've also got the glue provided, as you can see. Now this is to create your seal between the blade and the box, and what you do is run the bead of sealant right down here all the way down, and then you can simply slide this over the top, creating your seal and keeping the water from going back into the box. It's all there. So we'll go through that as well. And lastly here we've also got our top, which is going to go on top like that, and just creates a nice kind of a contemporary look, but also hopefully to keep the water from coming in and out there. As we've also got here, we've got the pump attachment, so that screws right onto your pump here. You've also got the Jubilee clip. This is for connecting the pump when you connect the hose to the pump, and that gives you a nice seal from the hose to the pump. And then of course it's already got the bulkhead attached. Now that's going to go on the back here when we do go for setting this up. So as you can see here, and also lastly, we've also got the large bit of the white sponge, and that again is your kind of next level of filtration as well there. But what we'll do is kind of go through this here and get it set up, let you kind of see the options and kind of where we're putting it, and general review of kind of this kit as well. Now again, this is your 80-watt pump, and you can see here this is going a max of 1,200 gallons per hour, about 4,500 liter per hour again on the liter side, and it's got a max lift of 11 foot. So again, you can possibly get up to about 11 foot from the base of the pump all the way up to the waterfall box here as well. So what we'll do is just show you that kind of getting set up and what it looks like. So as we go to set this up, you can just see we've got our blue sponges laid out here, we've got our filter floss laid out here, we've got our ceramic rings already in. Now this again is the 4-stage filter system setup. Now what you can just see here is I've removed the sort of inner parts here. You can see inside, if you just take a look from this way, you've got these sort of rings and holes. Now this is where the water is going to go through. Now as you can see here, we've got the brushes out, we've removed all the packaging around all of that to start. Now when it comes to setting this up, the first stage, your water is going to come in on this side where the brushes are. Your next stage, what will happen is the water comes all the way down and up from the inside here. So in this stage here, this is where we're going to be putting our blue sponges here. So what you do is you've got 8 of those, and you're just going to individually place these down. They should just slot in like so, all the way down to the bottom, and you want to stack those up. So I'll just show you getting one more in, and then we'll show you what that looks like when they're all filled up. And you can just see down in here, next to that, this is where that white filter floss is going to go. So I'll just show you those all put together now. So now we've got this set in the correct order. Brushes, sponge, floss, ceramic balls, and the edge of the waterfall going that way. What we can now do is look to secure our bulkhead on, which you can just see here. Now if I look down here, what I'll just show you is if you take a look at this, this side here is going to be going inside the waterfall box. You've got one of the seal rings. These two go inside the box, these two go outside the box, and what we'll do is just hand screw those together to give us a good seal, and I'll just show you what that looks like on the box here. So before I screw this in, I just wanted you to see what we're looking like here. This part is quite important to get right. The last thing we want, so this is going to be our seal between sort of water inside the box and the piping on the outside. So you can just see here in the bulkhead, I've got one of the white seals just inside, one of the white seals just outside, and this will screw directly onto there. Now, I would certainly suggest probably taking out your brushes. As you can see, just while we're doing this, just makes it a little bit easier to work. We can simply slot those back in once we've got that connection complete. Just to show you on the other side though, so you are provided the Jubilee clip, which will just show you when it does come to connecting to the pump. We don't need this clip or anything else at the moment to connect these. It is simply going to be hand tightening these. Now, careful not to over tighten and break these seals. Again, as this is where we are completing a seal here between the water, and this is the last place we want to have any sort of leaks. Now, of course, we do have 2 tubes of the sealant here. Now, these are meant for the front of the falls, which I'll show you putting that on as well. But if you do have any spare or any other silicons, you can always provide another bead around it after you've done it, just for additional security. But with that said, all the other boxes I've used from Biling that have this exact setup, I've not had any leaks or anything yet. So what I'll do is just get that onto here and just show you kind of the next step in the process. So you can just see here, that's all fitted. Sponges have gone, brushes have gone back in. Got the finger side up. Again, just makes it easier when you are going for maintenance. Now, with these particular boxes as well, I would suggest always, maybe even once a week, maybe just checking these boxes to see how much gunk has gone into it. You know, I know some ponds, worse than others, get a lot more sort of surface debris and things, which again, always worth just trying to checking and manually cleaning these by simply pulling out the sponge, as you would do here, and you can very easily just rinse that, or again, just use your hands to kind of pull out any of the debris in there. Simply slot that back in, Things like the sponges and flosses, you really shouldn't need to clean these as often, as most of your sort of heavy debris is going to get stuck in your sponges, but it is always worth checking these as well, as you can get clogs and it can sort of slow the water flow down and things like that. The ceramic rings down in here, really you shouldn't need to touch these. The biological filtration is essentially kind of into the ceramic rings itself, so really these need minimal, if any, sort of cleaning. If anything as well, once you do establish a nice sort of bacteria in here that is doing the job of cleaning, the last thing we want to do is kind of going and killing that off by, you know, rinsing this too often or anything else. So really the kind of one you're going to be cleaning the most is going to be these brushes. Next will be your blue and floss. Again, I'd really kind of stay away from messing with the ceramic rings too much. Again, is once they've established that, you can't even use things like your filter starts, liquids, which you can buy separately to help sort of start that filtration, or if you have existing media bags that you already have in another pump setup, again, you can pop those straight into where these are as well for additional bacteria filtration as well on that side. Right, so just taking a look at the pump here, you can see we do have the 3 attachments. The one in the middle, this is going to fit the hose that is provided with the kit. Okay, so the other 2 really are for if you have existing hoses or other size hoses. It just gives you that these adapters already supplied in the kit. Hopefully that will fit anything you've already got set up. You can see here we've got an additional spare black sponge. Now this actually goes within the filter housing, but there is one pre-supplied inside, so you should not need to do anything with that. This will be your spare for now. Also, having a look at the pump here in the front, let's see if I can get a better angle. Step it up like that, there we go. You can just see we've got a plus and minus. This is for adjusting your flow, simply turning and twisting that, which is going to increase or decrease the amount of flow that comes to the waterfall box. Again, giving you that little bit of adjustability here as well. When you do come to set up, you can just see we've got the 2 bits like this right here, and what we're going to do, that's going to go inside like so, and then that is going to screw on to your pump. Now, it's not crucial to basically have a full seal on this, as this is going to be inside your pond, so you're not going to be getting any water loss or anything like that, you know, through the pump side of things, if that's your concern. Now, this is where the extra Jubilee clip comes in. We'll simply put the Jubilee clip around your hose, which you can just see here like this. Pop that on top, which is fun to do one-handed. We'll just pause here for a second while I get that on. So you can just see that on there. And again, what you're going to do is hand tighten that the Jubilee clip here like so, and that will just ensure that you're getting a full seal on that one. What I'll do is get that all tightened up and just show you that all put together just before we put this in for our first trial run. You can just see here as well, these little suction cups would go underneath on the pump, so you can stick that down to the flooring as well, or if you have an addition, or if you already have an existing place where you've got a pump, that can just kind of slot right in there as well for you. So the last thing we're going to do before we get the filter box in to test it for the first time is to seal and put on our waterfall lid. Now what we're going to do is we're going to run the sealant, which is provided, down this lip all the way to here and up here, trying to make the best sort of seal. You want to put a fair size bead all the way down here, and again, it just stops water from coming out underneath the water blade, hopefully giving us the best seal possible on that side. So I'll just kind of show you the initial sort of bead going across so you have an idea of how much I'm putting on. So if I just come into here, you can just see we've got a pretty decent sized bead on that. Now again, you are provided with 2 of the tubes of sealant, so you know, certainly make sure to put a very good sized bead. You know, you're not really going to be looking at this part of the waterfall when it's in. You can see I've not done anything on this side here yet. You know, you can kind of be a little bit overboard on it on that side. So just looking on here now, you can see we've got quite a thick bead of silicone, and just down here you can see we've also done that on the waterfall blade as well, just using up some of the spare silicone that we've got there. So now what we'll do, simply take the waterfall top and gently slide it over the space provided and slot that in like so. So I've got this on now, and you can just see inside I have run a small bead, and with a disposable glove I've just quickly done that down just like you would do any sort of silicone there, just to give us a nice seal. Now I would say with this, even it is a quick drying sort of silicone, but I would probably give it an hour or two before sort of testing, just to ensure you've got a decent seal on that. On that side, did end up using both tubes of the sealant here, and again it's just making sure we've got a nice seal off the water blade here at the end. Just gonna let that dry and we'll show you it running for the first time. So just before we turn this pump on for the first time, you're looking at the other 80-watt kit that we reviewed recently on the channel. If you haven't checked that out or are interested in the build of this waterfall, certainly check that out. The current kit that we're using and about to test will be going into a koi pond. So it'd be interesting to see and to show you guys that process when it does come out. I'll be kind of documenting the process of kind of getting that all situated as well. So stay tuned for that video when it comes out. But for now, let's just jump in and start the pump for the first time. So one thing just to mention before we turn this on is to ensure that your box is on a nice level surface when you are positioning it. Also, you can position it so it is a slight degree moving forward towards the pond, just to ensure that you don't get many runoff back into the box. But with that said, yeah, that is also important when setting these up. So just to show you here as a temporary setup, what I'm going to be doing is trialing it into our larger rec pond here. What you'll see is I've not put the top on yet because I want to show you how the water kind of flows with inside the box as well. I've got the pump set on its lowest setting with the turn dial on the pump itself. I've not put the filter bag around it just as of yet, but typically you put that filter mesh bag around the pump once you get it into your kind of final setup and how you want it there. But what I'll do is just get this plugged in and we'll take a look at the water going over the sill for the first time here. So you can just see here now we're about a quarter inch from the top. Water's just coming in over the sponges. It's just about to start here. And there we go. Now if you just take a look at the front, lovely water blade system on that. And you can just see here as the water is kind of coming through the top, you know, it's not overflowing out the top or anything like that. Getting a nice lovely blade just off of here. Now one thing to point out, guys, with the metal boxes, I find these are great if you wanted to stick it in some brickwork. You can make that kind of very contemporary look, and I find with the metal kind of square, it's easier to marry that up to bricks and things like that. Of course, you could use this just standalone on its own. I'll show you that here with the top on in a second, just so you can get a kind of wider angle of that. But with it on its lowest setting, again, we're getting a nice sort of water blade. Of course, that's going to be doing your filtration as well. You can just see here, guys, with the box top on, there's a nice very clean looking. Now again, you can see quite a windy day here, and that is pushing our water blade sort of back in, as you can see. So one thing to think about when you are planning in where you're going to put this, me personally, I would probably put the pump sort of level down there, sink this down below the water line, again, just so you'd have a little bit more certainty that when it is windy, you're not going to be necessarily kind of blowing it back out of the pond through the water blade there. I'll just turn up the power and let you just see that on final power, give you my final thoughts as well. And you can just see now that on its full power. Again, keeping that nice consistent blade, but again with that adjustability, wind kind of moving that around here a little bit. But with that said, yeah, very impressed with this pump. Again, I will put the link in the comment section below. Definitely recommend this if you're looking for something a bit more durable. Again, if you like that more contemporary look, you're just looking for something that is going to last quite a bit longer, I'd say this is definitely the option for you. And certainly for a kind of 4-stage all-in-one filter box kit, you know, this is really going to do a lot of your filtration, gives you a nice water blade look as well. But of course, with that said, if you haven't checked out the friends of the channel, they'll be also in the comment section below. Of course, if you're not part of the channel, certainly feel free to join. Lots more pump reviews, pond builds, and of course just general gardening videos on the channel as well. Certainly check those out. And with that said, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.